Hey everyone, welcome to Saturday Night Popcorn. This is Jason.
And this is Kai, and we have another great discussion for you today. The movie of the day is Encino Man. It's, I guess you would call it an older movie. It came out in the '90s, late '90s, the early '90s. Sorry, but still want to give everyone a spoiler warning.
Yeah, early 90s, 1992. Encino Man from Les Mayfield, and it has a very young Brendan Fraser. What?
Phaser.
Yeah, my girlfriend, she looked it up and he was, I think, 24 while filming this movie. And he definitely looks it. You can tell he's much younger than when probably most people recognize him from like The Mummy. Hopefully people don't recognize him nowadays or like from Oni the Whale. but uh but yeah.
Oh yeah, well shit. Even Georgia the Jungle.
Yeah. I mistakenly I was like, yeah, remember when you did that Tarzan movie? Patty was like, oh, it's George of the Jungle, not Tarzan. But I
But that
think
was
that
my
movie,
first. I think that was the first time I saw him in a movie.
yeah, I think so too. I think myself where it's like I think it was George of the Jungle and then it was The Mummy. And I watched all of the
Yeah,
mummies. I think the first up to the third one, I think. I don't know how many there are, but
I don't know. No, was it three?
is it
I know
three?
at
Yeah.
least two.
Yeah, I know
And
at
then they had
least
like
two
that
for sure.
Scorpion King crap come out.
With the Dwayne the Rock Johnson. That's where he started, man.
Yeah,
Horrible CGI made
I
him a
think from
superstar.
dude, that movie was so bad. And I watched it in theaters with my
Yeah.
parents. Yeah, my dad was super into the Mummy series. And like when Scorpion King came out, he's like, well, as part of it, we gotta watch it.
It's
And we
like
went to the
now.
theater and watched it.
And that's the last time your dad went to the
Did
movies.
honestly, it's probably close because he hates going to the movie theater now. I was telling him to go watch Wakanda Forever. Nah,
Yeah.
I was wait. And then he texts because now it's on Disney Plus. So he texts myself and my cousin after he watched it last week, and he was like, "This movie's wonderful." Like, dude, I told you to watch this like 4 months ago.
But he was comfortable
It's
inside his
some
house and everything.
very much so. He had just bought a new TV, like,
There you go.
so he was excited to use it. Yeah. But I think for me it was Encino Man. I mean, it was George of the Jungle with Brendan Fraser, and then Bedazzled.
Oh, with
I don't even Elizabeth
uh
Hurley.
yeah. Yeah. Whoa. I remember that. Yeah, I've seen that movie too. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
Whoa.
love that. I just watched it a few months ago.
That's an
That used
old
to be one
movie
of my
too.
favorites. Yeah.
And
Monkey
and
Bone, like, yeah.
we have Brendan Fraser, we have Pauly Shore. I don't know what first movie. I think the first movie I saw Pauly Shore in was Biodome. Uh which is he plays
Oh,
like same
no,
exact
mine
character
was
basically.
base. That's every movie. I
Yeah.
remember him in Goofy movie, and he was the same exact character.
Oh, he was in Goofy.
What's up,
I
buddy?
think that's just like that's got to be his like thing, right? Like that's just
Oh
is
yeah.
that how he does his comedy? He's a comedian also, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
So
his
is that
mom started the comedy store. His family
yeah,
started the
that's
comedy
true.
store.
That's what we're talking about that. His mother's the one that started the comedy show or yeah, right?
Comedy store. Yeah, comedy
Comedy
store.
story, yeah. Yeah.
I think it has to be because yeah, he's a stand up, and I think that is his like stoner esque goofy guy because he's like that in everything.
Great. Like that's sort of and his delivery, like the way he even says it in the movie where it's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, you
it's
paused" and
like
everything. That's like
slow.
how he delivers.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, and then we also have a very young Sean Austin, even though he's been in other things like before this, right? Like,
So many other things.
yeah, he's like a
Yeah,
child
wasn't he? Was he in the
actor.
Goonies,
Yeah, I think he was in the Goonies because
or
we
was that
also
just
have the
Brolin?
we have I when was it just Brolin?
Yeah,
Is that what just
what's homie's name from Indiana Jones?
yeah, we have that
He's
guy
in
from
everything, everywhere, all at once.
yeah, that's what they said. That like it's funny they said like oh people are like seeing that he's making a comeback, but like he's never left. That he's like a
Yeah,
choreographer for like many years and stuff. So it's interesting, but He even looks different. He
What is
looks
dude's
different from
name?
this point of view than like now. You kind of still see his character short round in how he looks or like how he is now. But this character, like you can tell he was
Hmm.
in like his teenage years or something where he looks
Yeah.
like a teenager walking around high school where you have giant ass Brendan Fraser that like looks like a 24-year-old walking
I,
around.
yeah. And they're probably the same exact age or close to it.
Right.
Okay, so Sean Astin was in the Goonies.
He was okay. Man, he's been around
He was,
forever.
yeah. Dude. But it's sad that so many people probably just remember him from Stranger Things.
Oh man, no, come on. Well, it's like granted his pinnacle of acting career is the Lord of the Rings, but he was in Stranger Things, Lord of the Rings. He was also in wasn't he in that Notre Dame football movie? Rudy? He was Rudy.
Was he in Rudy?
Yeah, I think
Shut
so.
up,
I
really? Let
think
me see. Hold on. I still have his IMDb up. Let's find out right now. That was in the 80s, right? Rudy's old.
Rudy. Yeah, that's
Let me
probably
see
in
if
the
I can
90s.
search. Rudy, yep, 93.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yep, and he
he
played
did
Rudy.
Rudy right after
You're
this.
right.
That's how he got it.
Yeah,
He got Rudy because of this.
yeah.
But yeah, it's like
That's
it's the
crazy.
yeah, Sean Austin, Sean Astin has been around for man, it's like looking at it, just been around for a long time, and he's worth
Yeah.
like probably like the hundreds of millions of dollars because of Lord of the Rings and
You
stuff.
hope,
But
yeah.
and then yeah, sadly,
That's
most
why he
people
doesn't need to do
probably
all these movies and stuff.
right, and then he could be
Because he
in
has so
Stranger
much money
Things
from
and
Lord of the Rings.
get killed, and no people cry about him, and then he wanders off.
I forget he was in the show completely.
But what would
Man,
you
I forgot. I actually kind of forgot he was in the show.
yeah, well it's like he's very
Go
forgettable.
ahead.
He's almost like um who's the kid from The Shining? Not The Shining, uh
Sixth Sense.
The Sixth Sense, where like he
Oh, that kid
pops up every
disappeared.
so often.
Oh no,
Yeah,
he's in the boys now, and
yeah,
he
he
doesn't look
pops up
anything
every
like he
so
used
often.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's grown up and everything, and
yeah. Well, yeah, yeah.
but but yeah,
Leave it
like
at that.
you see where like he pops up every so often. You're like, hey, that's Haley Joe Osment.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah, and so it's like that little kid from The Sixth Sense has become like this guy that shows up in The Boys and some other stuff and everything. But what'd you like about the movie? In terms of like it's a very 90s movie, I guess you can kind of say.
Yeah. Um, I think I had more questions as I was like, I'm looking at my notes right now. I didn't have anything. I didn't hate the movie, but I didn't really have anything that stood out that I liked.
Hmm.
So a lot of my notes are just questions.
Well, I can say
So
my favorite thing. It is not the best movie in the world. I have a lot of questions
yeah,
about the story, like why put
yeah.
these two things together. But
How did ice remain underground for so long?
I think that's possible. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I think that is
Yeah,
possible. But in the
I
heat
don't
of
know.
the
He didn't dig that
California,
far.
yeah, right. It's like maybe like what 12 feet. Like that's
Yeah,
not that much. But my favorite thing is definitely Brendan Fraser kind of like doing his thing. And also
yeah,
the
that was good.
subtleties of like Pauly Shore's character, where he's the one that like is pushing Sean's character, where it's like, hey, don't be a douchebag to him and everything. But
Yeah.
like he just woke up from like millions of years of like sleeping and stuff.
Hmm.
But I think it's you can tell how this movie transitioned well for Brendan Fraser to play George of the Jungle and
Yeah.
everything. And so you can kind of see the advent of it. It was almost like the last movie we watched, the So I Married an Axe Murderer. You see a lot of things that how
Led to Austin Powers.
yeah, Michael Myers or what's his name?
Yeah,
Mike
Michael Myers.
Myers kind of transitions into other characters and stuff down the road in his career. same thing with Brendan Fraser, and now we see Brendan Fraser kind of doing. He did sort of like a very serious role with like an action flick like the Mummy and everything, and then
Mhm.
came out of nowhere after like kind of dropping off the face of the planet and then to the whale,
Yeah,
and then so
he was in a TV show though
was he?
recently. Yeah, he's in a DC Comics TV show on HBO Max called Doom Patrol.
Oh, he is in that. I've been wanting to watch
Mhm.
that actually.
It's not bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not bad.
I know it just ended, I think, but
Yeah,
tangent
when I
wise,
say DC just ended everything,
yeah, DC's just like blowing up everything.
let's just start over.
Yeah, they want a young Superman, but that's maybe they'll be those will be movies we'll watch down the road. We never
Yeah,
know.
they might
Uh,
be good. We'll see.
but for me, I think the main point you can kind of take out of this for me was just Brendan Fraser's character, just kind of like the way he kind of like played this kind of fish out of water and stuff. But then
Yeah,
you have the nuances of like why would he just like kind of acclimate so quickly? They
so
put on some
fast
clothes to him.
within days.
Yeah, it was like it seemed like within the time that like he took that bath and they put clothes on him, he was fine with
Yeah,
everything else after
he's like, okay,
that.
cool. I'm gonna learn how to speak.
Yeah, right.
Donnie, Dave. It's like, what? It's
Like
been 10 minutes,
essentially,
bro.
he's a child at that moment when he came on the
Yes.
ice, and then he magically starts to like learn how to speak. But
Hmm.
but
They
so
gave him
is
a cool haircut in a bathroom. Like,
right.
what?
But movie
It's
magic, that's what we
even.
call it.
Yeah. I don't know how it's even. It's two different guys cutting different sides of the head.
Right?
But that's, yeah, we'll leave that to movie magic.
Yes.
Movie logic, more like. I
But
did like the aspect of friendship because you got to see both, like all the sides of friendship. You got to see the good side, the bad side.
yeah, especially at the end where like they Pauly Shore's character and then Sean's character were like fighting over like why are you just letting him like walk down the road? Which is
Yeah.
I think watching it, it's like, yeah, that's a very big like douchebag move where it's like, here you go. We just woke you up like 4 days ago, but now here, have a skateboard and a pile of quarters.
Bye bye. Good
Right.
luck. Here's no money. You'll figure it out.
You think the main I was kind of like when I was brushing my teeth this morning, I was like,
Hmm.
all right, I think the main like lesson from this movie you can say is being yourself. Because I think that was like Sean's character was like into this girl, and then
Yeah.
the girl was into this like douchebag guy that like was like the main antagonist of the story. But then, but then like the girl wants to go to prom with the Link, who's Brendan Fraser's
Yeah.
character, and
The
so
guy she's known for
because
4 days.
yeah, some random dude that she's known
Yeah.
for 4 days and stuff. But she explains over the phone saying that like it's because like he witnesses life differently and stuff and like goes out of his way to kind of like do things differently.
Hmm.
And I don't know, you think like Pauly Shore's character was always saying that where it's like I'm me, I'm
Yeah.
my own person and stuff. And
I
I think
think you're
that's
right.
like I think
Yeah.
that's the main thing you can kind of pull out of this. It's like
Hmm.
a high school story and everything, but it's reminding people like, hey, just be you and who
Yeah.
cares about everyone else around you.
And I think that's it. I think you're right on that. I didn't think about that until you start kind of explaining it. But you
Well, yeah,
see, yeah, Pauly Shore's character didn't have any issues. Link obviously didn't have any issues, but Dave, Sean Astin, he was the only one that was like struggling throughout the whole movie. And it was because he wasn't himself. He was trying to be someone else to impress his girl.
and also to end high school like popular, right? It's like that he
Yeah,
starts
which
off the movie digging that ditch to
don't make that
to make a
pool.
swimming pool for himself,
Yeah.
and then they're all swimming in it at the end of it, which is just rainwater that was sitting there. No one's gonna question that, I guess.
Yeah, movie logic, man.
Yeah, there you go.
And, and then somehow another cave person comes out at the
Right,
very
and
end of
then
the movie.
magically does the same exact thing too.
Oh yeah, acclimated to the world within what, 2 minutes?
And
She wasn't on screen very long.
wears like two pieces of
Crop
clothing too.
top,
Like that's what they.
yeah, with abs. Like you've been in freaking ice. Like how do you have abs, lady?
Right. Movie magic. That's what we'll chalk it up to
Movie
that.
logic.
But
For questions I have
yeah.
though, uh, when they first find this was it iceberg? When they first find the iceberg, who then becomes Link, and Sean Astin goes up to the window to like tell his mom, like, what is this? I'm freaking out. And she's just on the phone, but never goes and checks like what's going on with her kid. That confused the hell out of me.
Well, she was
Like if
working.
my
She
kid,
was very busy
I
making
I
that money.
guess
Yeah, you would think
like
so,
he could
right? You
figure
would
it out
think like
himself. Yeah,
your son is digging a ditch for a swimming pool also, and then you would like
yes,
think like, all right, he's freaking out. At least go check like an
yeah,
hour or two later. My dad would probably do that, where it's like, oh well, Jason was doing something. Well, maybe go check on him real quick.
yeah. Like what if he hit a gas line? He's just
Right?
dead in a freaking hole that he just dug. She was not phased at all. Like, yo, I'm
No.
on the phone. Get away from me.
But that's the typical
Oh,
like parents aspect that they put in like these like teenage
yeah.
movies, right? That their parents are like douchebags or like all they do
They
is
just don't
work.
care at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is true sometimes,
Like,
but I don't
I guess that's the premise of
know.
freaking Home Alone. Parents just leave and forget their child. And it's like, what?
Yeah, that's a true like understanding of the parents that those parents suck.
Yeah.
Who the hell goes all the
Like,
way
hey, we're
to
in the
an
airport. We just
airport?
forgot a whole kid.
Yeah.
We
Then
have three
why
kids. We
have
got
like
two.
10,000 kids too? So
Yeah. Even even Chevy Chase in all the
oh,
National Lampoon
all
movies.
the
He brought his
national
kids and he was a piece
yeah.
of shit.
Yeah. And he has all of them at the end of him.
Yep. Everyone's safe. Everyone's slightly richer, maybe.
Yeah,
House was kind of destroyed, but
yeah.
everyone survived.
The Vegas one,
But
they
Home
all
Alone, the
left
rich people, they're like,
rich,
ah, we saved two.
right?
That third one,
Yeah, we're gonna
it
let him
wasn't
go
strong enough.
anyways.
Exactly. He was not strong enough. Okay, so it was the mom being just, I guess, a career oriented mom, not caring about her kid. And then all these questions all kind of align with that digging of the pool and finding an iceberg. So the mom, like, they were digging and trying to get this iceberg out of the ground in the middle of the night with a bunch of lights. And they used like a swing set and chains to pull the iceberg out, which
and
makes
and
no
a
sense to me.
and a lawnmower, right? Or like a
Yeah.
which
Like,
I
what?
would think looking at it, it seems possible, but like how heavy is that thing? Um, how are
They
two
didn't
kids
seem like
doing
the
it?
smartest kids in school.
No,
So I don't know how they figured that out.
because they weren't popular, so that means they're dumb.
Let's just put these things together. It should work. And
Right?
it just does. Like, what? And then the neighbors. So the mom didn't care, but the neighbors didn't care. And I'm like, there's no way they're not being loud when they're doing this.
That is true. Yeah, like you would think like that neighborhood that they showed at the beginning where they live, like
Yeah.
all
The
these nice
suburbs.
places, the suburbs, they have pools in their like backyards. That one of them would be like Wilson from Home Improvement that will like look over the fence and be like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yes. What are you doing?
I think us, even like our neighbors, like me and Patty living in this house, we're like, if our neighbors do like anything weird outside, they turn on the light, like we're like looking outside, like, what the hell are you
Like,
guys doing?
wait a minute. Just have your
Like,
phone ready to call the police. Like,
it's 9 p.m. We're all supposed to
it's
be going to
past
sleep.
curfew. Exactly. It's past curfew. What are you doing? It's quiet hours.
But
Yeah, those are the questions that came across my mind when I was watching the movie.
like this may kind of bring up more questions too. It's like, or mainly my questions when I was watching it is
Mhm.
like turns into what I disliked about the movie is this kind of amalgamation of like a story for Sean Austin's character to want to be popular, to
Mhm.
convince his friend to like try to be popular, and then he finds this cave person, and then he wakes him up, and then tries to be friends or like tries to manipulate him to be like this catalyst to be popular around school. And then I don't know. It's just like this weird kind of like I would have liked just a story just about Brendan Fraser's character, like how he kind of goes around and like lives life and everything and all this stuff. I guess you needed sort of that starting point of a story to be like,
Yeah.
oh, it's this like kid that just like wants to be popular and he finds this friend and everything and he doesn't treat him as a friend, but then at the end he's like, oh yeah, we're buddies, and then they high five and there's the end of the story. That's probably the pitch. That was probably the elevator pitch.
Kumbaya.
That's probably someone.
Two
What
kids
was it?
digging a hole for a pool.
Hollywood pictures at the beginning.
Uh-huh.
I like watching these old movies nowadays because like those are
Hmm.
intros. I see you see like the movie productions. That's like which ones are like still around. I don't know if Hollywood pictures are still around or if they were
Oh
bought up.
yeah. I don't think
But
so.
you
Somebody probably
you
bought them.
someone probably in Hollywood pictures was like, yeah, that was the pitch, and we said yes.
Some guy came in and was like, here's the pitch. We open. It's two kids digging a hole for a pool. They find a caveman. The caveman's the coolest kid in school. We'll give
And
you $2
then
million to make this.
yeah, they were like,
And
we
then we get
got it.
Encino Man in 1992.
There you go.
They won't
This
win any awards, but
these off the wall movies have been showing us that it seems like it's fairly easy to make a movie.
honestly, I've seen some low budget movies and I'm like, okay, I can make a movie.
Yeah, right.
Like, I
The
guess
movie
Tube, is it
Tangerine,
Tubi?
too. Yeah, but my point is the movie
Tubi makes
Tangerine.
some bad ones.
Tangerine's filmed on a freaking
What is
iPhone, so you can totally just film anything.
what is Tangerine? What?
Oh yeah, it's this it like won like a bunch of awards.
I,
It's like
I
a
think I
full-fledged
do know
movie
what
that was
this is.
filmed like an iPhone
Oh
7.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
I did. Okay, I know of this was shot on an iPhone.
Yeah, it was like an
Okay,
iPhone
looking at this
7.
screenshot, it looks like an iPhone. Good
Yeah.
lord.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I'm making a movie tomorrow morning then. What?
You're like, all right, I'm quitting my job. I'm gonna go make a movie.
I'm making movies just on iPhone. No, but the crazy thing is, the Avengers one of the scenes is shot on iPhone.
Seriously?
Yeah, yeah. I'll have to look it up. Like I'll have to fact check myself, but I remember them making a big deal about like the directors wanting to use an iPhone.
I wonder why. I
We'll look
wonder
it
if
up right now.
I wonder if like Apple comes around and says like, all right, we're gonna give you some money. You gotta use the iPhone at some point and just say it that you use the iPhone for like a scene.
Yeah, it was Avengers.
Well,
Yeah,
I
part
remember
of the
that whole.
Avengers was shot on the iPhone. The Avengers cinematographer Seamus McGarvey used the iPhone on the film starring Robert Downey Jr. A pretty surprising revelation, but shooting on iPhone is actually not a new trend. It's yeah, I can read the whole article, but yeah.
Yes, now we're gonna take time to read the entire article on so, word for word.
As slow as possible.
Yeah, right.
Pretend like you're back in elementary school and you get called on
This is
and you forgot where you left off.
ASMR, but just us speaking real slow. But what in terms of the questions you had and stuff, like what would you take as like one thing
Mhm.
that was like not good about this movie?
Oh, I just have two, actually only have two things. It's the cuts, which we've been talking about. I don't know how many weeks. That transition from like 70s, 60s, 70s era movies with just long sequences for shots to the multiple cuts of close-ups, wides, over the shoulders. So I didn't like that because there were so many cuts. And then the other thing was the ending. It seemed like it just happened. It was just like boom, over. Here's a cave lady. Movie's done.
Right. I get that. We're like I guess I don't know like how like I guess there's a better way to end the movie, but they probably could not figure it out. And
Yeah.
then they're like, all right, this is easy. It makes it puts a
Running
little
out of
bow
money.
tie at the end, and yeah, they either ran out of money or they're like, all right, we need this cave woman to come back into the picture, so let's throw her in at the end.
Let's allude to a part two and then never make it.
Well, that's what I was thinking about when Pauly Shore, his character at the end, he says like he comes into the scene and
Mhm.
he says, I'll be back. Um, I was like, you think that's like to set up like a sequel? And Patty looked up that supposedly they're talking about a sequel right now. And so that means they're all gonna be looking like
30
they're
years
60 years.
later?
I know they're gonna look super old.
Goodness.
Like they'll
Well,
need
I
to
guess they
recast
might like
everybody.
focus on how Link is like a successful businessman or something.
Well,
Polly Shore's still a stoner. Dave is crying everywhere.
my question would be, all right, does Link's life expectancy increase just because he woke up in the modern age? Like he was still a
Oh, for
person that was
sure.
supposed to
He's not
like
getting
live
chased
for
by
like
woolly
14
mammoths.
years. Yeah, but still, like they only live for like years. Like I don't know. Like it'd be interesting to see, but like, all right, he has to go to the doctors, and the doctor's
They
like,
eat meat and rocks
what?
back then.
Oh,
He has a balanced diet now. He's chilling. He got his lady
balanced
with him.
diet. Yes, the four food groups that Polly Short showed up.
Exactly. Sweet tarts, milk duds,
Yes, the American
gr-
diet.
gas station meat.
So he would actually buy. He would probably die sooner than he would.
He might end up. Oh, The Whale is the sequel.
But there you go. Yeah, that's.
Was it a repercussion
Yeah, the whole time
of his
he's
7-Eleven diet?
damning Pauly Shore, but like, why? Why'd you tell me about this diet?
Why did you do this to me?
He's like, there's vegetables out there I need to
Oh.
eat. But I could get to my rating. I gave it a 2.5,
uh,
and I feel like it was decent.
oh
It was
man.
a yeah. I saw your rating just quickly when I looked at my phone right now,
Yeah.
and but I don't know. I saw it as decent. It was like the story was like, oh my god. I think I probably could push it down to two because it was like, all right, this whole like. But I feel like that's sort of like 90s movies back then. If you don't get like a 90s movies like The Game or something or like whatever, like these like top-notch 90 movies that we still talk about, you get this, I think. Like this is like what came out all the
Yeah.
time.
So like that bot dome level.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
I think like you obviously saw my rating. I gave it a 1.5. Um it nothing really stood out. Like the movie was decent, like it kept me entertained, but nothing stood out. I like that a lot of the actors that were in the movie had pretty good careers, to
yeah,
say the
right.
least.
Most of them.
So that was cool, but yeah, it was just a like we've talked about before, like how I rank comedies, and to think about movies that came out in the 90s, comedies that came out in the 90s, the Austin Powers, the Billy Madisons, the Happy Gilmores, the Water Boys, like to think about those, like those are hilarious. Those are great movies overall. And those came out in the 90s. And then you think about this, there's no comparison.
That is true. I never actually thought about that in comparison to those where it's like
Yeah.
those, yeah, you see those, and those are ones you would watch over and over and over again,
Oh
probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just watched Waterboy like 2 weeks ago.
Kai has a job too, so he watches movies all the
Watching movies is not my job. I wish it
time.
was, but
No.
it's not. But I somehow find a way to watch movies all the time.
But we could I guess we could assume with both of our ratings, would you buy this for your movie collection?
Not a chance.
I can say like
I
if
would
you
buy,
have like a
okay,
little like subsect of like your movie collection that says like these are just off the
terrible.
wall movies, like yeah, just like
Yeah.
the low star movies in your collection, this will fit in.
So I would buy this movie if I found out The Whale was a sequel to it. That would that would be um, when I would buy this movie.
You should write like a Reddit like conspiracy of like the whale is the sequel to this.
To Encino Man because of these reasons.
Yes, yes.
I need to watch The Whale first, and then I can probably write
Same
that.
here. I think we have that plan for our upcoming or one of our upcomings. I'm waiting for HBO Max to
Yeah,
put it out sometime
it
soon. I
should be
don't.
soon. Yes.
Yeah, I think the last thing I read it was like March, but
Okay.
I don't know. It seems like they come on streaming pretty quickly. Like Wakanda
Yeah.
Forever. It
Keep
was like what, like 3 months later or something. It seemed like.
yeah. I keep wasting my money in the movie theaters.
Right. But I don't know. I guess it's still nice to like to give movie theaters some play of like, all right, I want to go like watch a movie somewhere else other than my
Lower
home.
their ticket prices, and I'll go even more.
That is true. Yeah, it's like it like you hear about all these stories of people like raising their ticket prices. It's like why? Like none of us want to go there in the
Yeah,
first place.
exactly. You're making it worse for yourself.
Yeah. But any uh any last comments about Encino Man with Brendan Fraser?
If you're bored and want something to watch that's going to entertain you for an hour and a half, I would say check out So I Married an Axe Murderer, not Encino Man.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I would probably watch both. This one is like literally like 80 minutes long. I saw
This
it and I
was
was like, man,
super quick.
okay, I was a little upset. I had to pay $3 to rent this movie on Amazon. I was like, I paid $3 for 80 minutes of a movie.
They're jipping me.
And like 5 minutes of it was like credits probably.
Oh yeah.
but
Oh,
uh but yeah. Kai, you want to take us out?
yeah. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Saturday Night Popcorn. I'm Kai.
And I'm Jason, and we'll be back next week for another one.